Hey, so we back with episode number five, well, episode five of Welcome to Derry. So when we open up Derry, we open up the episode, Marge is in the hospital. And what's really poignant about this scene is that now Lily is in the same predicament that Ronnie was in the sense that now there's someone who knows the truth, but the truth is so polarizing and it's so not even just polarizing but just so kind of extraterrestrial in a way that it's not going to be believable. But even though you were telling the truth, everybody else thinks you're lying for this person. So Marge is in the hospital. Lily comes to see her. Of course, everybody thinks Lily is the one who attacked Marge, and but Marge says that she understands, she knows that it was not Lily, and she finally realizes that what Lily was seeing, what she was talking about, was the truth. And she was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you before." But they're kids. But one thing I do want to point out is that it keeps saying that they're Derry High School. And I was like, these kids look so much younger. I would have thought middle school, but I guess that goes to show, I guess, how children looked back then. But I keep having to remember, are they in high school? Maybe they're freshmen. I don't know. But yeah. So now Marge is laid up in the hospital, and so her eye itself wasn't severed. It was really just her eyelid that she had the cuts to, but she has to keep it obviously covered because her eyelid got cut. So another thing that we find is that Lily and Marge kind of, I guess you could say, they reconcile. Lily ends up bringing Marge to their hangout, and Ronnie's like, pretty much, what you doing bringing her up in here for? And Lily's like, well, you know what? She understands now. She knows yada yada. She knows what's going on. So as they talk and having their back and forth, you hear some scrummaging around, like something coughing, and they're like, "Who is that?" Lo and behold, it's Matty. Matty, who went missing in episode one, and Matty looked bad. Matty looks haggard. His hair looked like a stale bust down. Matty don't look good, and so he comes out telling them that he's been down there in the sewers for 4 months, and the thing they asking him about Teddy, Theodore, and all of those, and he said when the thing brought the bodies back, Teddy was already dead. Susie didn't have no arm, and she bled out and cried all night till she just didn't cry no more because she was dead. And Phil somehow cannot talk or move, but he's still alive. So they're like, "Oh, we got to go to the police." And Maddie like, "No, I would rather go back to the sewers than go back home." And then hindsight, you think, was his home life that bad? But then when you get to the end of the episode, it's like, I don't want to call these kids dumb. I don't, because I can imagine in this time what they going through is completely like, what the hell is this? General Shaw, we moved to General Shaw and Leroy. He finally tells him everything. Leroy finally figures out what this whole thing is about. And Leroy is pissed because he feels like he was tricked. Like, you tricked me to bring my family up here. Like I brought my family here, and now me and my family in harm's way. And General Shaw was like, well, you the one who wanted to live off the base. Motherfucker, period. You brought me here for some bullshit. Like, you brought me here knowing that, something could happen. So he like, yeah, I'm about to bring my family on the base. We moved to the Indians. I guess you could say they're having like I don't know, maybe like not a ceremonial meeting, but kind of like their own little town hall in one of them's house. And we learned that this Galloo that pretty much this killing these kids or killing people, period. But what we learned is that this thing normally attacks young people. The last time they did it, the ages were between 5 and 16. So yes, children. And we learned that it does it in cycles of 27 years. So it makes sense that it's now happening in 1962, because the last time this occurred was in 1935, and then the time before that it was in 1908. So cycles of 27 years. And they're like, once this is over, they'll have peace for almost another 30 years. But they were saying that the Galloo like releases its secretions into Derry's water, and it causes the people to become more violent, like more agitated, and they call it the argery, I believe. Yeah, the argery. So mind you, Charlotte is still working on getting Hank out of prison, but this is the 60s, so the paperwork has to be manual and probably in person. So he's still being moved to Shawshank when Charlotte is outside with other people watching him being put on the bus. And of course the police officers and the sheriff are like, well, we'll see how long you last there, because the last one we sent over there didn't even last a week, but you might be lucky for 2 weeks. Like, really just rubbing it in this man's face that, yeah, your ass about to get got. Charlotte sees it, and she also sees a vision of this like officer in the door with these like two little bunny teeth, and he's like doing his baton like this, and she realizes it's a vision. And then there's also this man who comes up and attempts to shoot and kill Hank, like, oh, I'm gonna get you for what you did to my kids. So I don't know, he didn't look like Theodore's daddy, because remember Theodore was Jewish, so I'm assuming he is Phil and Leo. Phil is Susie's daddy. Yeah. So Rose ends up confronting Francis about what's going on. She Rose is the I would say like the lead priestess or whatever of the Indian community that's there. And Francis claimed he's just doing this because he want to keep his country safe. And I'm like, that's a very pompous ass response. And I was like, yeah, you as a white man would think you are the world's savior after you've been the world's villain. And yeah, you have to come in and save everybody. And she says, well, she now knows that he pretty much tells her, he lets her know that, well, we know about the pillars and everything, and we see, and Francis tells her that Taniel told him, and she was like, he wouldn't do that. And so when he tells her about the pillars, that's when she knows, oh, they do know. And when she says, well, they will need Taniel to go down there, and she will prepare him, go down into the house under the tunnels, and help them figure out what everything is. But in that meeting, she meets with Taniel, and they're speaking in their native tongue. And he tells her, auntie, like, they tricked me. Like, they got inside my head. They did something to me. And she understands that. And she's not upset with him, and she gives him the like the sacred dagger, because she went home and got it. And she lets them know that, she lets him know that I told them what it's for. And the little bitch ass police officer in the doorway talking about English. I feel like the police officers are stupid too, because I'm gonna get into it. So they end up going into the tunnel. So they cut off the street for that day, and they go into the tunnel, and they use Taniel as a guide to get them to the pillars. And I say the police officers are stupid, because it's like, y'all really think these people just gonna hand over their history, their community to you so easily? Like, you thought, like, oh, I got into one of them's head, now I'm gonna get it. It's a A1 sprint from here. No. Like, you just think shit gonna be that easy. So when they go down there, mind you, they got everybody down there. They got Paulie, they got Leroy, they got Hollering. I can't remember the guy's name who not General Shaw, but the other one in the military who you can tell he's just a dick. But they're following Taniel, and it's like this little drop where they go into the water. Mind you, they're in the sewage, so they walking through this nasty, shitty ass water, and it's like getting up to their damn knees, it looks like. Taniel keeps on walking forward. Mind you, right now he has the dagger. Dick is in there with them as well. Dick, when he jumps off the little I could say the drop down, he goes into the water and doesn't come back up. So the soldiers behind him are like, Dick, where are you? Dick, Dick, Dick. And so the creature comes out and kills those two soldiers. And so Paulie and Leroy have gotten separated. They're walking ahead, and he like, did you hear that? And he was like, no, but let's keep going. And what the instructions that they've been given is that this thing will get into your head and it will play on your fears. So anything that you see that does not look or sound right, shoot it. Whatever it may be, shoot it. Taniel ends up getting away from the sergeant that's behind him, and the sergeant just gonna keep shooting like boom, 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 talking about you gonna regret this. Motherfucker, why do you think I would turn around as I know you actively shooting at me? Huh? So Dick goes, we see Dick is having another vision. When he with Dick hollering, he's having another vision, another episode. And in this vision, we see that he's talking to his grandmother. He's like up sitting up against this bathtub, like wet and sweaty looking, and he's talking to his grandma. And we learned that Dick and his grandma both share this psychic ability. And it appears that his granddaddy is very volatile to them about it because he doesn't necessarily share the gift. And so he comes in with this box that has these chains and it's locked on it. He's like, boy, open this box. And Dick is like, no, I'm not going to open the box. And his grandmama is talking to him telepathically, like telling him, don't do it. He's trying to get in your head. Don't let him get into your head, Dick. Don't let him do it, baby. And he's like, okay, as his grandmother is like there talking to him, he's able to build up like the fortitude, like, no, I'm not opening. You can tell like in his mind, he's getting scared, like a little bit weaker. Like he doesn't know if he wants to open it or not. And he's like, no, I'm not going to open it. The granddad is like, you going to open it. He pulls a gun out and shoot the grandma. I think he shot it in the knee or whatever. So the grandma is wailing in the back. Dick is still looking at his granddaddy like, no, I'm not going to open it. The granddaddy opens the box anyway, and he puts his hands over his ears, and he's just like screaming, like trying to, keep his head on his shoulder. So it appears that like this box is like his Pandora's box, like of whatever spirits that he has going on in his mind, and he has it put away in that box. And when it opens, it just, he cannot, it takes over him. So the kids, mind you, the kids and the soldiers are like on their own journey. They on their own little mission, but both groups end up in the tunnels. So of course they with Matty now, who just happened to come back from the sewers after 4 months, probably about 4 or 5 months now. So they got Lily's mama's pills. Yes, these kids popping pills, anxiety pills, and she like, we're gonna take 3 of them. They in that tunnel, high as a kite, moving in slow motion, following Matty to where Phil is at so they can save him. They get down there with Matty. Come to find out, they see the kids' bodies. They saw Susie's body. They're screaming. They see Teddy's body. They see Phil's body. So they realize Phil is dead. And I think they starting to like, oh shit. Then I think it was Lily or whatever. Somebody had tripped on another body. Tell me why it's Maddie's body. So as they're freaking out, Matty is up like on this, almost damn near like dancing around this pole. And he turns into Pennywise. Because mind you, Matty said that the thing ate Theodore's brains in front of him. So what we see also with Matty, as he's turning into Pennywise, we see his head come open with like these spiked teeth. I guess to like also play on that, like eat it inside the head and the brains. And they see Matty turn into straight up Pennywise. And they start running. They like, let's get the hell out of here. Running and screaming. Lily pulled the all-time white woman move, and her ass gonna fucking fall. I was like, bitch, if you don't get up. So I'm like, guys, wait up. No. This is not no wait up. Come on. Come on. Did nobody tell you to fall? So how the soldiers in the kids meet up is that as they're going through the tunnels, we can tell that whatever spirits are down there are starting to have an impact on Leroy, because he's starting to hear things and he's starting to see visions, and he sees Charlotte. And I found it interesting that Charlotte came to him. Like, that was the vision that he saw. Like, as she's supposed to be the thing he's afraid of. And I think she, in a way, is the thing that he's afraid of. I think he's afraid of, because mind you, this is 1962. This is before the Civil Rights Act. This is before Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream, in 1963. This is before I believe the March on Washington. Was that in 1961? So I can't remember. But these are like before very big pivotal moments in the civil rights movement. Mind you, the Montgomery bus boycott, I think that was 1958. So we are like in the thrust of the civil rights movement. So I think for Leroy, he does want to play it safe. He does want to be the good Negro. He does want to, and in his mind, playing it safe is keeping his family safe. But Charlotte is not like, no, playing it safe is staying in bondage. I will not play safe and not fight for my freedoms. And so I think that's a good juxtaposition on probably what were the black people at that time. You probably had the black people that were very, very forward in their activism, and then you had the black people that were like, well, y'all can go out there and be out there in the streets, but what is it going to be for us in the meantime? Like, life will still be hard. They're still going to be trying to find ways and reasons to attack us. So he ends up shooting the figment that is Charlotte. He ends up killing her. Like, the vision that he sees in his head. And Paulie is standing beside him. And I think Paulie, like, this nigga crazy. Like, he really seeing shit. And so he turned to Paulie and he like, no, if you see something, I don't care if it's your girlfriend, you gotta shoot it. So they're walking again and they hear the kids screaming, help, help. Mind you, Leroy thinks it's the spirit. And so he sees Will come up. So he thinks Will is like Charlotte, another figment. He picks his gun up to shoot Will. And that's when Paulie realizes that, no, this is real. This is real. This is not what we're thinking. So Leroy fires the shot. Paulie gets in front of the shot so he doesn't kill Will. And Leroy ends up killing Paulie in front of the damn kids. In front of Ronnie, Rich, Marge, and Will. And we see how, Leroy is, because Paulie is his comrade, like really his right hand man, his wingman. Like, they made it out of Korea together. Like, I'm pretty sure they're very close. And to lose him and him to be the person that killed him, even by accident, I know that was detrimental. And so he carries his body out and he's like, kids, come on. Mind you, Lily's ass is still stuck back in the damn tunnels because she done got lost. When she tripped and fell, she ended up going down the wrong part, wrong tunnel. Pennywise is coming up to her and he's like, oh, you're the one who convinced everyone to come down here and see me. Like, everyone is, even this damn spirit is playing on Lily's mental and using it against her. And I think that's her fear. Her fear is being so misunderstood mentally. And I think having it used against her for her own detriment. And that's what keeps showing up. And as he's coming closer to her, then we see it change it to her daddy. Because he's like, you're such a good friend, but a horrible daughter. Or whatever. So she's up against these bars. She has nowhere to go. So she cowers as Pennywise is coming up to kill her. But unbeknownst to her, the dagger is in the water because when Taniel was running away and earlier when he was running away from the sergeant, he ended up dropping the dagger that he was supposed to have for protection. So now Daniel don't even have the dagger no more. Now the Native Americans don't even have the dagger at all because the other ones were buried. That one dagger was what they had in the community. Lily, the dagger's in the water, so the Pennywise backs up off of it. Lily's able to pick it up, and so she figures out this is what is keeping it away. So now Lily's ass got the dagger. Unbeknownst to them, what's happening at the same time during this, because mind you, Hank was being shipped off to Shawshank. The bus was attacked. Hank was able to escape the bus. We see Ingrid, the head housekeeper from Juniper Hill that Lily is close to. We see her get in her car, and Hank is in the back, and he's like, drive to so and so area. So we're made to believe that like he's taking her hostage or whatever. They get to the woods. They get out the car and they kiss. Ingrid is the woman that Hank was sleeping with. Yes, the married woman who is the head housekeeper down in Juniper Hill, who is supposed to be Lily's, confidant. And we kind of learn that her husband is abusive because we see Lily go over to her house. And the dynamic between her and her husband, like even when he walked up on her, he was like, "Where my steak at?" Like she kind of froze up a little bit. And she was like, "I'll have it ready." And he's like, "I'm gonna just hide in the woods." And he's like, "No." She's like, "No, they're perimeter. They have a perimeter around the woods. Come stay with me." And he does. And I'm like, that don't even make sense. Him to come stay in your house, your husband not gonna see him. Like, I don't trust Ingrid. I don't trust Ingrid. I don't even trust how she is so like yummy with what's her name? Lily, because it gives that yes, she wants to be a confidant to Lily, but it also feels like she's trying her hardest to make Lily feel like she's on her side. And I feel like she's wanting to pull Lily in for some bullshit. I don't trust Ingrid. I don't trust that hoe. So at the end of all of this, as it happens, mind you, Polly has been killed. The kids make it out the tunnel. We finally see Dick again. He comes out another part of the tunnel because we see that after they get back to the base and Leroy has to give an account on what happened and how Polly died. And he's like, "Where's Hollering?" to General Shaw, and he's like, "We don't know. We haven't figured it out." But he was like, "If anybody can find their way out them tunnels, it's Hollering." And we see Hollering's ass come out them tunnels, and he looked like he done been through it. But then we see him see another soldier walking ahead, and it's Polly. But it's Polly as a dead person because you can tell by his eyes and the color of his skin is like this bluish gray. And it's like, but we know Dick is not dead. So it's like he's alive in the realm with the alive people, but he's still able to walk and see the dead, which is now Polly. Telling you. I'm ready for episode 6, okay? I will be back. I have watched episode 6, and I'll be back for that review because just like I said, I don't trust Ingrid's ass.